Have you ever picked up a book? Maybe you were trying to decide if a book was right for you or not. So you go on Goodreads or wherever you read book reviews and you find reviews and they're 1 star, and it's frustrating because the book that you're looking up is called something like The Werewolf of Werewolf Lake, and the very first review you read is 1 star, and they say that they gave it 1 star because it's about werewolves and they don't believe in werewolves. Yeah, we're going to do that today. I am going to tell you that I am reading, I just finished The Cats by Nick Sharman, and I'm going to tell you that it's a really, 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 really bad book. And it's a horror book about cats. And so I didn't like it. I did like it. It's bad, but it's bad in a B movie kind of way. So if you are a person who enjoyed movies like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or Sharknado, then The Cats by Nick Sharman may just be for you. If you are somebody who is looking for horror literature or character development or really good commentary on something in culture, this book's not going to be one for you. So I'm just going to kind of start and give you a quick summary. And then after that, we'll go into some spoiler territory where I talk about the flaws with the book. But this little summary is going to be spoiler free. So we start our adventure in a laboratory where they are doing animal testing on cats. And we have this boy who he took the job of taking care of the cats while the scientist is away. And he says he took the job because he likes being around cats. He loves animals. That right there is the first problem. I don't know of many people who would go work in a laboratory where animals are being experimented on if they love animals. So you can imagine, of course, it's a horror story called The Cats. The cats are going to get out of this lab. No spoilers there. You can deduce that right from the title of the book. So these cats are being studied. Really, a bacteria is being developed, and the bacteria is being used on the cats. And this bacteria is essentially to create a weapon that would be sort of undetectable by whoever you're using this weapon on. So if you think about it, you infect the animals of a population and the animals cause chaos. Nobody's going to think that that was some kind of planned attack, right? So that's kind of where this story goes from. But it's to create violence. You know, you want these animals that are subjected to this bacteria to become violent and more aggressive and more intelligent. So here come the cats. The cats, of course, are going to escape. And I mean, I don't think that's very spoilery because you know this is what's going to happen. That happens in the very beginning of the book. So what does follow is a lot of murder. So if you are not somebody who likes murder, or you are sensitive to things like, I don't know, babies, children, grandma getting eaten by cats, then you may not like this particular book. Dogs are eaten, birds are eaten, humans are, of course, eaten. So pretty gory. There's flamethrowers, there's acid, there's, being mauled by cats. So first of all, if this were a movie, I would not watch it because I can't watch gory movies. I just don't like them. But reading it to me is fine, especially in a story like The Cats. It's a pulp fiction, which means it's not very deep. So we're not getting a lot of graphic description of these things. We're not getting a lot of deep character development, not a lot of sympathy for the characters that are getting eaten, because honestly, you can be introduced to them in one page and the next page they're killed. So it's not going to be this real deep emotional experience. So that's probably why I'm able to read it. Also, I'm somebody who's sensitive when the animal gets killed in a movie. You know, I don't want to watch the cat get killed. I don't want to watch the dog get killed. But in this particular book, there's not enough development for me to have feelings for these animals or people who are being killed, if that makes any sense. It's just a quick read. The action takes more precedence over the development of characters. All right. So let's kind of get into, if you're planning to read this book, this is where my spoilers are coming in. So you might want to turn the video off if you do plan to read this, because, hey, I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. I mean, yeah, it's a quickie B movie type book, but I mean, you know, I wouldn't have wanted to know anything before I read this book. So stop now. All right. So let's kind of go back into this idea of the bacteria and the cats and where this is going. All right. So if you work at all with cats or know anything about cats, you know that they do contain bacteria. Most of the time, if you get bitten by a cat, you're going to have to go to the doctor and get antibiotics. I have been bitten by cats in my job, working at the animal hospital, and just a tiny little bite can turn into something swollen and painful pretty quickly. And cats are, I've been reading articles lately that talk about how cats are the perfect predator. You know, they have a really high kill rate. They're very successful in nature. So the idea of this story of cats that turn on people is really kind of scary. And I feel like it's a really good opportunity for a horror book. But what we've done with this particular story is the cats have been injected with this bacteria, and apparently it's heat sensitive. So if the temperature outside is 74, the cats are kind of hiding away. They're calm. They're not aggressive. But if the temperature turns to be 75 degrees, that's when the murder ensues. We have the killer cats, you know. So that instantly kind of falls away from me, because cats' body temperatures are warmer than humans. You know, 101 is a normal temperature for a cat. So I don't really know how the bacteria would be affected by the external temperature being 75 degrees when the cat itself is going to be hotter. But okay, we can suspend disbelief there. The cats become very intelligent, and they sort of connect to one another and have this desire to kill. So we have these cats that are now, you know, killing the people. They're hunting down people and killing them. And, you know, that makes for a good horror story. There was the boy. Now remember the boy who set the cats free. Initially, they attacked him and they bit him. So he was actually injected with the bacteria. And because he had kidney disease, he was susceptible to the bacteria and he was infected. And so he formed sort of a connection with these cats. And I mean, the idea behind that's really cool. I kind of would like to be the Pied Piper, queen of the cats, you know, go kill my enemies for me creatures. You know, I mean, not really, but you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a cool idea. But instead of having the boy kind of controlling the cats kind of controlled the boy, and he kind of became like them. And the idea of that's pretty cool, except he purred, and I can't take that seriously. I mean, so I'm telling you, this book is so bad, it's funny. We have people who are being eaten who are on drugs, and they don't know if it's real or not. So you've got that kind of death. You've got you know, cats pulling people and taking them away and eating them. And you've got the cats attacking the dogs, which kind of makes sense in that way. So it's what this book boils down to is it's one series of death and gore followed by another, and you have characters introduced just so you can see a new way that the cats are killing the people. So it's really just an excuse for gore and violence. So it's fun because it's stupid, in the same way that sci-fi original horror is also fun because it's stupid. So if you like that, you are going to love The Cats by Nick Sharman. And I will say that I had fun reading it. I read it in a couple hours. It's a short read. It's a quick read. And it is not for that time that you want to deeply reflect on something. It's for that quick fun read. So if that's what you're looking for, you are looking for The Cats. Thank you for joining me today. And I believe we are going to continue the series with the paperback predators, but I'm going to take a little break from paperback predators and read something a little bit more. There's just something different. And then I'll be back to the paperback predators. So if you are following along for paperback predators and you have one you want me to read next, leave it in the comments below. And that was my cat playing with her toy, his toy. That was my boy cat. Otherwise, just stay tuned and we'll see what we go to next. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.